Alright, hey there guys, Adrian DeCosta here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video. In this video is going to be debunking some arguments that the NBA community is putting out towards Steph Curry over the last while. Now, some of these arguments are just absolutely insane, and I don't know why people are making these arguments because, well, no, I know why they're making these arguments, because they're so sick of seeing guys like Steph Curry trash their team for years that they just want some measure of validity to make it seem like, oh, he's not the reason that they were dominating, the Warriors were dominant. So some of the arguments that I'm going to be debunking. The first one is the fact that Steph Curry has benefited from injuries all these years, which I've seen, and I'm just going to touch on that just real quick because, yeah, whatever. Then the second one is Steph Curry benefited from the super team throughout his entire career, which again, I'll touch on that just real quick. But the major argument I'm going to talk about is the fact that, Steph Curry can't carry a team, and these guys like Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and LeBron have all been able to carry teams. So why can't we expect that from Curry? So let's just debunk the small arguments first. The first one is the fact that everyone says Steph Curry has benefited from injuries. I love how they sit there and say Steph Curry has benefited from injuries throughout his career. I apologize for that. My cat just decided to walk over. So I love how they argue that Steph has benefited from injuries all these years, but yet they fail to sit there and do the same thing for guys like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron, or even LeBron James, for that matter. A lot of people just completely ignore the fact that in 2016, Andrew Bogut made I think he tore something in his knee in the 2016 finals, and he was just never the same after that. And then when it came to Kawhi Leonard, he beat a Warriors team in 6 games, despite the fact that Kevin Durant only played 12 minutes, and Klay Thompson tore his ACL in Game 6 of that same finals. But I love how nobody ever says that they benefited from injuries, but yet they say that Curry did. So whatever. And then the small thing is the fact that Curry, has benefited from a super team his entire career, and he can't win a championship as the man. He literally did that in 2015. Okay? Like, do people just start watching Curry in, 2016 or, 2017? We literally saw him in 2015 lead the Golden State Warriors to 67 wins, win the MVP, and an NBA title. And should have won Finals MVP, but they gave it to Andre Iguodala for some fucking reason. I don't know why. So why does anybody think that he can't lead a team to a championship? Okay. Now, the biggest argument that I wanted to debunk is the fact that everyone says, and as you probably can hear, I'm typing in the background, that everyone says that that Harden, Russ, and LeBron have been able to make the playoffs with subpar rosters. So why can't we expect that from Steph Curry? First of all, this completely ignores the context of the roster that Steph Curry has at his disposal. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is the Golden State Warriors roster. Okay, this is the roster Golden State has. Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, James Wiseman, Eric Pascal, Draymond Green, just to name a few, okay? Solid players, but nothing really fantastic, especially when it comes to guys like, Eric Pascal, who's a solid player, but nothing's too special. But let's look at Andrew Wiggins, his second best player. 17 points, okay. 37% from the field. 41% from the three-point line. However, he's shooting an effective field goal percentage of 43% from the field. Kelly Oubre. James Wiseman. He's been solid as a rookie, and I'm going to emphasize that because he is a rookie. Eric Pascal is a sophomore. Draymond Green literally came back last night, and to be completely honest, his offense has diminished significantly over the past years. Brad Wanamaker. You gotta be kidding me, right? Brad Wanamaker. This This is the roster you're expecting Curry to make a fucking postseason appearance with. Are you kidding me? You serious? This is the roster you're expecting Curry to make a postseason appearance with. Oh, but LeBron did it in 2017, 2018. Well, let's look at those rosters, shall we? Let's look at the 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm just going to put 2006 Cleveland, 2007 Cleveland. Okay, so this Cavs team, 50 games in the Eastern Conference. Okay, now I know this team made the finals, but keep in mind, this team was a good defensive team. Although the offense lived and died by LeBron with the ball, this team was still a good defensive team. But let's look at the teams he beat going into that playoff run. So, Washington Wizards. Okay, first round, swept the Washington Wizards. 41-win team with one of the worst defenses in the NBA that season. Okay. Brooklyn Nets with Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, and Jason Kidd. Sounds like a formidable challenge, right? They were a 41-win team with mediocre offense and defense throughout the entire season. Okay, so you might be thinking, oh, but they beat the Pistons in the conference finals. Isn't that impressive? I mean, it could be if I saw Ben Wallace on here. Where is he? Ben Wallace. Wait, there's a mistake here. Where is Ben Wallace? Oh, that's right. He left by the time this season happened. Yes, after 2006, Ben Wallace left to the Chicago Bulls and decided to play for them. But, yeah. And they still won 53 games and were like the best defense in the NBA at this time. You're welcome. Okay, I know you're probably thinking, what about the 2018 Cavaliers? Okay, so let's look at the 2018 Cavaliers. Okay, now, I will admit that the Cavs in 2018 were a dumpster fire. Absolutely a cluster of a dumpster fire. Okay, as you could plainly see, they were one of the best offenses in the NBA. However, they were the worst, arguably the worst defense in the league at that time. So, let's look at the series here, okay? So, they beat Indiana in a tough series. One could legitimately argue that they could have lost that series if, you know, they properly called a goaltending call on LeBron in Game 5. But whatever, you know, they won Game 6 and they lost Game 6 and they would end up winning Game 7 in Cleveland. Toronto. Okay, moving on. Boston. Now, Boston was one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, as you can plainly see. 55-27, third in points per game on the defensive side, and they were the best defensive rated team in the NBA. However, look at the players that played in that series, and you will clearly see no Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward. Why? Well, Kyrie Irving underwent knee surgery towards the end of the 2018 seasons, which caused him to miss the playoffs. And Gordon Hayward's ankle decided to go sideways in 2018 in the very first game of this season. Gordon Hayward's ankle decided to go sideways, and he missed the entire year. So, yeah. That's why LeBron made the finals. If Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, I'm not going to say or, because I think if they had Gordon Hayward, I think they still would have went to the finals. But if they had both of those players, there is no way the Cavaliers win this series. I'm sorry. Like, I love LeBron. He's my favorite player ever. But even I can admit that he wouldn't have won against the Celtics in 2018 if they were fully healthy. Now, let's look at the 2017 Thunder, okay? Because a lot of people want to say that they were a garbage team that, you know, a lot of people, you know, that still made a postseason appearance. Well, okay, they were middle of the pack in both offense and defense, and especially in points allowed. But in defensive rating, they were 10th. So we move up. Let's move down. Okay, so as you can see here, guys, there are guys like Victor Oladipo, Andre Roberson, Steven Adams, Enes Kanter, Taj Gibson, Ersan Ilyasova, and then later on they would go and grab guys like, where is he? Oh yeah, they would grab Taj Gibson later in the year as he would play only 23 games for the Thunder. However, if we're going to sit there and say that if you're gonna sit there and tell me that the roster that Curry has is better than the Thunder, except it's not. Look at this roster. Okay, Victor Oladipo, 15 points, 1 steal, which, okay, whatever. However, he shot 44% from the field, 36% from the free throw line, and 75% from the free throw for three and then free throw line. Compared to Andrew Wiggins, who's Curry's second best player, and he's shooting below 40% from the field, and he's shooting 41% from three. Okay. What about Steven Adams? Well, Steven Adams, 11 points, 7 boards. However, it was well documented around that time that Russell Westbrook was literally stealing rebounds from his bigs like Steven Adams. But even then, 7 rebounds, 3.5 offensive rebounds, which is one of the best offensive rebounding seasons the NBA has seen in quite some time, and shooting 57% from the field. Enes Kanter, 14 points per game on 45% from the field and 76% from the line. Obviously, he didn't shoot many threes, so I'm not going to count that. But one could make a legit argument, including myself, that Steven Adams and Victor Oladipo alone are more help than what Curry has right now. And especially when you if you want to throw in Enes Kanter, then yes, that's much more help than what Curry has right now. But what about James Harden, you say? Well, a lot of people want to point out the 2013 Rockets, okay? So let's look at the 2013 Rockets then, shall we? Rocket-ta. Derp. So the Rockets were a good team, okay? They were one of the best offenses in the league, but they were one of the worst defensive teams in the league, especially when it comes to opponent points per game. Whatever, okay. But that doesn't matter, because this team was an 8th seed in the West, okay? You're not expecting a whole lot. Now, look at the roster. Chandler Parsons, Jeremy Lin, Omer Asik, Carlos Delfino, Patrick Patterson, Marcus Morris, Patrick Beverley, okay? This is a roster, that looks pretty except it's not. Look at this. Chandler Parsons, 15.5 points on 48, 38, 73 splits. Jeremy Lin, 13 points, 6 assists with almost 1.5 steals on 44% from the field. He did not shoot very well from 3, but he did make up for it at the free throw line. Okay? Omer Asik was a double-double guy in 2013. 11 points, 10 rebounds, 54% from the field. Patrick Patterson, again, 11 points, 52% from the field, 36.5% from 3, albeit on low volume, so whatever. But even then, this is not a bad team. And I would easily make the argument that this is a better roster than what Stephen Curry has right now. I would argue. And if you say not, you're immediately disrespecting guys like Chandler Parsons and Jeremy Lin. And yes, these guys were young, but these guys were actually good young players. James Wiseman, we don't know how he's going to pan out. Eric Pascal is a mid player at best, to be completely honest, in my opinion. He's a solid role player that could probably win a couple of championships, but he's mid to me at best. He's not going to be some impact guy like a lot of people probably think he could be. So I don't understand why everyone sits there and says that Curry should be leading this team to the postseason that he has, because guys like Harden, LeBron, and Russell Westbrook have done it. But those 3 guys have had more help on their roster than what Steph Curry has. So, yeah. That's going to be the end of this video, guys. I know I'm probably going to see a lot of dislikes if this video does get out there, because my channel doesn't really blow up like that. But if this video gets out there, I probably expect a lot of dislikes and hate comments, but I welcome that, because, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not afraid to, I'm not afraid to talk about some bullshit that I see. And this is some bullshit that I'm seeing. So, that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.